Hello, how are you? It's been a long time that I have come up with a video. Um I hope you're all doing well during these tough times of COVID 19. So, today we're going back and we're going to start with a new vigor and energy and continue with the English Bricks efforts to share with you the knowledge and information pertaining to improving English language proficiency and grammar of the viewers who are interested in learning and improving themselves further. So, as part of this, today we're going to learn about how to use interrogatives using the modal auxiliary verbs. So, if you look at the example here, could you please help me with this problem? Now, the modal auxiliary verb is could. Sure, I could help you with the problem. So, you see, we have used the modal auxiliary verbs to form interrogatives or questions, and we have also used them to form a declarative or an assertive sentence in the way of providing the appropriate response or answer. So, shall we continue with our lesson? Okay, here we go. Happy learning. So, let's first understand what a modal interrogative sentence is. What is an interrogative sentence at the first instance? An interrogative sentence is a sentence that we use to ask questions. Right. So, a modal interrogative sentence is a question sentence that employs the usage of modal auxiliary verbs. So, from the previous lessons, I'm sure you remember what modal auxiliary verbs are. So, let's have a quick look at them. Now, let's look at the examples that are there in front of you. Can you help me with these books? Now, which is the modal verb here? Yes, it's can. May I leave early today? So, what is the modal verb here? Exactly, it's may. Will they arrive in time for this crucial meeting? Which is the modal auxiliary verb here? It's will. Beautiful. So, you see, can, may, will, would, shall, should, could, might, all these are modal auxiliary verbs, and using them we are framing or forming interrogative sentences. So, what is the primary purpose of using the modal verbs? We use modal verbs for language functions. Like, for example, look at that one there. Can you help me with these books? What am I asking? What is the function that I'm using this in? Am I actually asking a question? No, ma'am, I'm seeking somebody's help. So, it's not just a question, there is a language function. May I leave early today? Is it a question? A form of question, yes, but the primary function of this is to seek permission. Will they arrive in time for this crucial meeting? It sounds like a question, but what is the intention behind this question? The intention is to gather information. I'm curious, I'm anxious, I'm worried probably. So, I'm asking this question because it's a crucial meeting, you see. So, all these are language functions. So, we use modal verbs for language functions. We use interrogative sentences to ask questions, right? And interrogative sentences end with a question mark. And you see all of these end with a question mark. All right. So, these are the modal interrogative sentences. And we'll look at all these at greater detail as we progress in the lesson. Okay. So, we're going to learn about how to construct a modal interrogative sentence. Now, I want you to look at these sentences that are there in front of you. Can I leave now? Could you help me with this problem? May we dance together? Might I speak with him? Shall I attend the meeting later? Should we really attend the party? Will they not be upset if we arrive late? Won't the media speak about this sacrifice? Now, if you notice all these sentences, you notice that all these modal interrogative sentences begin with a modal auxiliary verb. And you also I'm sure notice that there is also influence of the tenses. Some of them are in the past tense, some of them are in the present tense, some of them are in the future tense. For example, will, future tense. Won't, it's also the future tense. So, and there is the answer could both be yes or no or information seeking in a way. Maybe dance together is yes or no, but in a way, I'm asking for information. See, all interrogative sentences ask for information, whether in one word or in a little more than one word or something like that. But both, they are yes or no here, and they also are seeking information. And you also have negatives. For example, won't the media speak about this sacrifice? You have negative forms also. May I not attend the class today? It's also a negative, though it's not here in front of you. So we also notice that most of these modal interrogative sentences are used primarily for seeking permission or for suggesting or for request or language functions basically. So this is how we construct the modal interrogative sentence. We begin the modal interrogative sentence with a modal verb followed by a subject and the predicate. So let's look at how we can construct both positive questions and negative questions using can and could. So there you see in front of you, can I leave now? Can you get me a glass of water, please? Can he climb this tree? Could I speak with the manager? Could you meet him last week? Could you kindly lend me your car? All these are positive because there is no not there or the contracted form of it. Negative questions. Can't I leave early today? Can't you solve this problem quickly? Can't he lift this box easily? Now these are all contracted forms of the negative, the contracted forms of can. And likewise down below there you see, couldn't you answer the phone promptly? That's a contract form of could not. Couldn't she talk properly with the elderly gentleman? Couldn't they have driven the car a little slowly? So you see, all these interrogative sentences beginning with can and could follow the same rule, that they all begin with the modal auxiliary verb can or could, and the contracted forms are used at the beginning of the sentences followed by the subject and the predicate. So this is how we frame questions use can and could, both positive and negative questions. How about using may and might and form interrogative sentences, both positive and negative? Let's look at the examples there. May I borrow your car today? May we leave the meeting now? May I know your name, please? May I know whom I am speaking to? Might we leave now? Might I call you late in the evening? Might I recommend this lotion for your skin? Now all these I've used the positive forms may and might, and all these sentences, interrogative sentences, begin with these modal auxiliary verb may or might. Negative questions, the time today is that we don't use these. They have become redundant. May I not leave the glass on the table? You might simply say, is it alright if I leave the glass on the table? We don't become a little old-fashioned or boorish this way. So we don't have negative questions because we don't use much in today's communication. All right. So these are just a few examples. I want you to try using these and frame your own sentences and get back to me if you have any doubts. All right. So shall we look at shall and should? Positive questions. Shall I call you later? Shall we discuss this now? Should I clear this place right away? Should we accept their proposal? Most of the time we tend to use shall with the first person, both singular and plural forms. We don't use it with the second and third person normally. And shall is again used very, very rarely and in special occasions. Especially we use shall when we want some kind of a favor, or when you are probably genuinely interested in doing something for somebody. Now negative forms, shall I not or shan't, both the contracted forms and without the contraction. Shall I not call you later? Shan't we discuss about this new project now? Shouldn't we be leaving now? Should I not accept this new job offer? Now, you must also notice that all these sentences here also have the primary function of language functions. Should I not accept this new job offer? Here I'm asking for somebody's opinion, a suggestion, a piece of advice. Shouldn't we be leaving now? It's trying to subtly tell people, okay, it's getting late, come on, let's leave. So all these are useful language functions, not just simply asking questions. All right. So keep that in mind, that modal auxiliary verbs, the primary function of these is language functions, and these are very, very important for improving your communication skills and to communicate like native speakers. So what about using will and would to form interrogative questions or interrogative sentences? So positive and negative questions using will and would. Will you drop me on the way to work? I'm asking for somebody's willingness. So that's the primary language function. Will they attend the conference such a short notice? Would I be needed to accompany the guest to the hotel? Would she be able to draft an email quickly? Would you like to have a cup of tea? Would you be kind enough to let me know if the work is done? So we generally tend to use would to be very formal or polite, extremely polite. Mostly at official communication, or when you're trying to communicate with really big shots up there, higher ups. Negative questions, will you not? So will followed by the subject and not. And otherwise, if you use the contracted form, won't she? Won't the contracted form, negative form, followed by the subject. Won't you find this dress too gaudy? Won't we be late if we don't drive fast? Wouldn't you feel bad if they spoke to you rudely? Wouldn't she appreciate my help now? Would I not feel left out if they don't invite me? So there you see, when I use the contracted form, it comes at the beginning. Otherwise, the not comes after the subject. So keep these in mind and use them. I'm trying to keep the lessons very brief and short, so but you can always get back to me if you have any questions. All right. We've almost come to the end of the lesson today. But how do we use must and need to form interrogative sentences, both positive and negative questions? What do we use must and need for? Must is compulsory. Need is there is a need. Right? There is a requirement. So let's look at this. Positive questions. Must I wear a suit to the meeting? Is it compulsory? Must we call all the vendors tomorrow? Must all the staff be present at the celebrations? Is it compulsory? Need I attend work on a Sunday? Is there a need? I'm really not interested. I don't like working on Sundays, but many times I am forced to. Need we call a plumber to fix the faucet? So, is there a need? Likewise, negative questions. Mustn't we just call off this meeting right away? Must I not? So, the same thing. When we use the contracted forms, it's there at the beginning and the subject comes later. But when I use divide it, must I not? So, I have the modal auxiliary verb must first, followed by the subject I, and the negative form not comes after that immediately. So likewise here. Need I not attend the work tomorrow? Didn't we stop on the way to eat something? So that's how we form with must and need. You could give this a much closer look. Have a look at it and get back to me again, like I said, if you have any doubts. So we have come to the end of the lesson for today. So let's have a quick recap. Today we have learned about how to use the modal auxiliary verbs to form interrogative sentences. So modal interrogative words are can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, must, and need. These are those most important modal auxiliary verbs that we use to form interrogative sentences. So I'm sure now you must have realized and learned that these modal auxiliary verbs are used to express various language functions like seeking permission, suggestions, requests, ability, willingness, compulsion, etc. They also have the present form, the past form. We have seen how we use them both as positive and negative forms. We also use this to express various levels of formality when we communicate our needs. For example, when I say, can I borrow your pen, or could I borrow your car, we use can and could. For can for simple thing like pen, and could for something more important like car. So the level of formality ranges as per the need. For example, can I come in late tomorrow? If I'm asking my friend, that's all right. But I have to use, could I come in an hour late tomorrow? This is how I should ask my boss. So it again depends on the hierarchy. So the level of formalities also differ as per the need, as per the modal auxiliary verb that we use. And many a times you must have noticed that young speakers of English today have they try to, they don't use much of these modal auxiliary interrogative sentences, but yes, but still many native speakers of English, especially in England, tend to use these modal interrogative words to form interrogative sentences. So this is just this lesson is just going to give you a peek into how we use these modal auxiliary verbs to form interrogative sentences. But if you have any doubt, any questions, you can always get back to me at English Bricks. Happy learning. I hope this session was useful. Thank you so much for watching my videos, for liking them, for sharing them, and posting your comments, and also for subscribing. And I request you, it's been a long time, yes, but I promise you that I'm going to come back now very, very frequently with more interesting videos on English grammar and English language learning very, very soon. And I'll ensure that there is continuity in this. I would like to thank all the people who have subscribed my channel so far and have been watching and posting and sharing your comments. And I request you to please continue to watch my videos, continue to like them, and please share them with people who are interested in learning. Please post your comments, your suggestions, your ideas, your questions, and I am more than happy to share with you all this. And please subscribe. Please do subscribe. Thank you so much again for watching English Breaks. Take care. God bless.